everyone, welcome to Crystal Clear Tarot. My name is Sian and this is where we can slow down, tune in and explore the deeper meaning and healing wisdom of the tarot. Today we're diving deep into the Knight of Wands, a card that's filled with fire, movement, courage and bold energy. This is one of those cards that doesn't whisper, it arrives with momentum, enthusiasm and a very clear message. Something wants to move, something wants to change, and you are being invited to step forward with confidence. If this card has been showing up in your readings, or if you've been feeling restless, inspired, or pulled towards something new, then this message is very likely for you. So get comfortable and let's explore the meaning and symbolism of the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is one of the most dynamic figures in the tarot. As a court card, he represents people, personalities, or energetic phases in our lives rather than fixed situations. The Knights in tarot are all about movement and action. They sit between the pages, who represent ideas and beginnings, and the Queens, who represent receptivity and embodiment. The Knights are where things start to happen. They learn by doing, and then they grow through experience. Often associated with young adulthood, but not limited to age, the Knights reflect a stage of life where we're driven to explore, to take risks, and to test ourselves in the world. With the Knight of Wands, that drive is infused with the element of fire, which represents passion, creativity, desire, courage, and life force energy. Fire wants to expand, it wants to be expressed, and it wants to burn brightly. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, we see a knight fully armoured, riding a powerful horse, charging forward with his wand held high. The wand itself is alive, sprouting leaves, symbolising inspiration, growth and creative potential. This tells us that the knight isn't acting on empty impulse. There is something here that wants to grow, something meaningful that's trying to take shape. The horse beneath him symbolises strength, vitality and raw power. Everything about this image suggests momentum. The knight is leaning forward, the horse is in motion, and there's a sense that once this energy is unleashed, it's hard to stop. The fiery red plume on his helmet and the yellow tunic reflect passion, confidence, optimism and enthusiasm. These colours reinforce the idea that this knight is fueled by excitement and belief in what he is doing. Behind him stretches a barren desert landscape. This is such an important symbol. The desert represents the unknown, uncharted territory, and sometimes risk. The Knight of Wands isn't waiting for perfect conditions. He's willing to move forward even when the path isn't fully mapped out yet. This card often appears when we're being asked to trust ourselves enough to take the leap, even if we don't have all the answers yet. Astrologically, the Knight of Wands is strongly associated with fire signs, particularly Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy is adventurous, restless, freedom-loving, and driven by the desire to explore life fully. This influence shows up in the Knight's love of travel, new experiences, and bold choices. There's a sense of chasing possibility rather than certainty. While the Knights don't carry a single fixed number in numerology, they do represent the active phase of their suit. In Wands, this is the moment where inspiration becomes action. Ideas stop living in the mind and start being expressed in the world. This is the phase of testing, risk-taking and forward movement. When the Knight of Wands appears upright in a reading, it's often a sign that things are about to speed up. You may feel a surge of motivation, excitement or courage. Opportunities can arrive suddenly and life may feel busier or more dynamic than usual. This card often appears around new projects, career moves, relocations or passionate connections that begin quickly and intensely. The Knight of Wands is a trailblazer. He reminds you that you don't need to wait for permission to pursue what lights you up. This card asks you to reconnect with your inner fire and trust your instincts. Where have you been playing it safe? Where have you been holding back because of fear or self-doubt? And at the same time, this card carries a gentle warning. Fire is powerful, but without direction, it can burn out just as quickly as it ignites. The Knight of Wands can sometimes act impulsively, jumping from one thing to the next without follow-through. His passion is his strength, but it can become a weakness if it isn't channeled with intention. When this card appears, you're being encouraged to act boldly, but also to stay aligned with your deeper goals. Passion is most powerful when it's guided by purpose. On a literal level, the Knight of Wands can indicate movement like travel, increased communication, or a fast-paced period of life. Things may feel exciting, but also intense. This is a card that says, life is moving, but are you ready to move with it? When the Knight of Wands appears reversed, the energy becomes scattered or blocked. Instead of confident forward motion, there may be restlessness, impatience, or frustration. You might feel eager for change but unsure how to create it effectively. This can lead to impulsive decisions, overcommitment, or starting things without finishing them. The reverse Knight of Wands can also point to burnout. Too much fire without rest or grounding can leave you exhausted rather than inspired. This version of the card invites you to slow down, to refocus and reconnect with what truly matters. It asks you to be intentional with your energy and to ensure that your actions are aligned with your long-term vision. So ultimately, whether upright or reversed, the Knight of Wands is about your relationship with your own fire, your passion, your courage, and your desire to live fully and authentically. And as we come to the end of this deep dive, the Knight of Wands leaves us with a powerful message. You don't need to wait until you feel completely ready, and you don't need to have every answer before you begin. What you do need is trust. Trust in your instincts, trust in your courage, and trust in the spark that keeps driving you forward. The Knight of Wands reminds you that life is meant to be lived, not just planned, that your passion is a gift, and when you honour it with intention and purpose, it becomes a force for transformation. So move forward with confidence, but stay connected to your inner truth. Let your fire light the way, but not burn you out. Thank you so much for watching this tarot deep dive into the Knight of Wands. If this message resonated with you, take it as a sign that you're being supported in stepping into your next adventure. And feel free to leave a comment below. How has this night affected your life? Until next time, be brave, follow your spark, and trust where your journey is leading you.